it's Monday, and I made a mention of programming my dreams in the arts and crafts video, and I kind of wanted to talk a little bit more about that because I feel like that is a really fantastic skill that moderate to advanced people should be using on a regular basis, especially if we're talking about working for clients. For me personally, I've been trying to get answers regarding someone's hopefully upcoming new child. And it's always interesting because the other side really has very little concept of time on our scale. When we're doing card readings, like tarot card readings, certain numbers can give indications, or certain suits even can give indications of time if we program them to do so. So if I hear from the other side to expect something coming soon could mean between 0 and 3 months. Soon could be between 0 and 6 months. Soon could be within 3 years. So it's very difficult to tell people, yes, something's coming soon, because to me soon is within like a week. To my kids, soon is within the next 5 minutes, and if it's ice cream, soon really means now. So we have to be aware that our concepts are different than the other side's concepts when it comes to things like timelines and time itself and the expectation of when things are coming and arriving. Same thing when we talk about people being ill and getting ready to pass. Soon could mean within the next week. Soon could mean within 2 weeks. Soon could mean within the year. I mean, it's very difficult to calculate, and I feel bad not being able to say, okay, the other side says within the next 3 to 7 business days, your thing is going to happen. But that's simply not how it works. I have done my best to hone my skills to ask better questions, to get better answers. But it's just not 100%, because the decisions that everyone makes on a daily basis changes timelines constantly. And we, especially within the last 6 months, have felt timelines shift and snap and revert and go and bounce forward. I mean, things have been changing rapidly, and it can be difficult to catch up. So a prediction that was right 3 months ago could have drastically changed if the expectation for that to come true is within 6 months. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. If you have questions, let me know. So I program my dreams in a way that I do a little zen to set my intention of, okay, tonight I invite any people from this couple's past ancestors, relatives, spirit guides to come to me so that I may channel and pass along messages with regards to this specific thing. You won't always get messages regarding that specific thing. You may get a lot of visitors. You may get one. You may get two. You may get none. A lot of times things are challenging, especially if the work towards whatever the question is something that we aren't meant to know, because they aren't meant to know. And so there's no information to pass along. And the information to pass along is be hopeful, keep going. I can't tell you what to decide. And that can be very, very, very difficult. I've only had that happen a few times. When my aunt passed and I couldn't access and talk and commune with my aunt on the other side and they were right, spirit guides were right, I certainly would have used her as a crutch and not to grow, because it was really my first family loss, and I was very close to my aunt. I love my aunt like my mother or grandmother. She was my everything. So It was a very difficult loss for me. And as a medium, people are like, well, you can talk to dead people whenever you want. And I'm like, dude, no, I can't. They're doing stuff. Like, I'm doing stuff. That's not how this works. It isn't a 1-800 number and you're like, yes, please, I'd like to speak to my dead grandfather. Not quite how it works. Be kind of cool, but not quite how it works. And sometimes there are people that won't visit during your hour-long reading, that will come to you at night. And that's why I always tell clients, I'm like, if I get a message tonight, I will contact you. No pressure. Typically people get the answers that they want and need during when the service is being rendered. But sometimes I do get people that drop by, especially when we talk about very strong personality families. The strong people will come through during the reading. The quieter people may visit during the dreams. So I usually like to pass along that information. But again, it's something that I program myself for. I take the time, I take the intent. I explicitly tell people during the reading, I always take a night to think about things and ensure that I haven't missed anything. Because sometimes I may miss a theme coming up in that person's life. Sometimes I might miss a message that had nothing to do with the question that they asked, and I'll get that in the dream and pass that along. So the service doesn't necessarily end, when your time is up. And even still, I'll have people pop in, and I'm like, yeah, I'll pass it along. That's cool. No extra charge for that. But it can be challenging because you may have your own stuff come through. You may have messages arise for you. And you have to be aware that, is this for them or is this for me? So that's a big differentiation. Who is this message for? What is this message? Because sometimes we overanalyze things. And the presentation of a pie may be like, okay, homecoming, delicious desserts, because I like delicious desserts. But if we tell our client, your grandmother offered me a pie, they may be reminded of a whole slew of memories surrounding. So it may have different meanings to different people. Try not to overanalyze it. Give it as it comes, as my infamous teacher would say. And I always get a lot of food because I'm Italian and I'm always hungry. So, but I have been feeling frustrated because I was like, I want to take the weekend. I want to do some cards. I invited a student medium to see if she could get some feedback. But the results have not been my typical results. And it's something that I'm just going with. I'm trying not to take it personally. Trying. But sometimes the answers aren't there when we ask for them. We can't demand answers and be like, tell me! I insist, I demand that you tell me. Because they're going to be like, be patient. And it's like, what? My four-nager being snotty. I want it now! Yeah, Veronica, I hear you. That's not how it works. That's not how contact with the other side works. It's not how, you can't demand a message. You can't demand an answer. Even tarot cards will give you the fingers. I joke that my tarot cards love the truth a little too much. Yeah, that's why I'm very careful about which decks I use for what. You'll never see me use the Rider-Waite deck for any love sort of question. They're a little too honest, and sometimes people aren't ready to take that like me. So programming your thoughts, sitting with yourself in meditation to prepare yourself for an overnight journey of messages to pass on to your client or even for yourself, if you've been struggling with something. It's a fantastic opportunity to receive information and messages in a very different way that is pretty awesome. I thoroughly enjoy using that technique. And my clients, I've enjoyed good feedback from my clients with messages that I've passed on. So it doesn't always work. Again, we can't demand answers. That would be super awesome if we could. Tell me the lottery numbers. I'd like to retire and work in nonprofits for the rest of my life. But whatevs. So if you have any questions on this, let me know. It's really easy. Programming yourself is easier than programming an object, and it's pretty darn easy to program an object, like thinking of a pendulum, yes, no, maybe, not maybe. When you program your cards, when you program your pendulum, same deal. It's the same exact thing, just programming yourself. It's all about the intent. It's all about the questions that you ask. And it's constantly a learning process. So please know that there is no perfection when we talk about spirituality. Even though eventually that's what people would like to get to. Not me. I'm cool. There really is no living perfection. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. All right. I love you guys. Happy Monday. Stay calm. Get through. We got this. Do your taxes. I love you. Bye.